Welcome to the page where we review videos from all across the world, whether it's relationships, interaction, or anything such. Let's get down to it.
I once heard someone say the secret to a happy marriage is to marry someone who's happy. The truth is, you cannot make another human being happy.
I absolutely agree with that. One of the biggest things when it comes to marrying somebody is choosing somebody that's actually already pretty much happy. They're just looking for you to add to it. But however, unfortunately, when it comes to marriage, most of the time, happiness is not the key. Actually, marriage doesn't ever promise you happiness. A lot of people tend to enter marriage thinking that everything's always going to be happy, but it's actually the opposite for the most part. Everything worth having is worth working for. So marriage is actually a job. And technically, you do work on each other as well as help each other remain happy. But more so, a lot of people make happiness like an idol. They start to think they need to let go of everything before happiness instead of realizing within the marriage, as you work on the marriage, you'll find more so joy than happiness. That's the biggest difference. Happiness only happens when things are happening. Joy happens when even chaos is happening. But I do agree with her in some sense.
You can make them a cup of coffee. You can make some reservations. You can make the bed that you both sleep in, but you cannot make someone else happy. You can also not change somebody or force someone to grow.
So it is extremely important for people that enter marriage to realize that, yes, you cannot change anybody. The biggest thing is when we get into marriage, we start to think that we can help the person grow, or this person that, or that person this. But the truth is, for the most part, everybody changes in accordance to where they seem fit. So sometimes you may be thinking, okay, I can help or I can change this person be so what some people call super save. Whether for guys it's called super saver, or for women it's called super saver, whatnot. You fill in the blanks. But truth be told, most of the time when people are going through things, it's not gonna help them if you push it onto them at all. In actuality, it causes resentment. So for most part, for example, if a man sees his wife, he met his wife overweight, and later on he starts to think that, oh, okay, babe, I prefer you to lose weight, which is a sensitive subject. For the most part, truth be told, if she doesn't want to lose weight, you can't force her, including if you keep pushing that change on her, she'll start to resent you. In the same sense, if you meet a man in a particular work environment where he's okay with how he's working and how he is, and you come into the situation and you state that, oh, babe, I want things to actually change. I think you can do so much better. Some men may take it as you met me this way. So for many people, it doesn't change unless they choose to change, including marriage. Honestly, marriage does not change anybody. Marriage just amplifies who you are more so, including the biggest thing a lot of people don't realize is when you're going to marriage, when you have a problem in marriage and you're thinking, okay, if I get married, things will change. In actuality, it doesn't change. It gets worse. You have to make the decision to change. That person has to make the decision to change, or resentment can take place. It's kind of like accepting a new parent and saying, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. And how many people go through relationships nowadays saying, you're not my mom, or you're not my dad, you're my partner. But in actuality, the partner just wants better for you. And it's actually absolutely true.
And the best thing that you can do for your relationship is to stop focusing on what your partner is doing and focus on taking the actions that make you a better person, that make you a happier person.
I gotta stop her there. I agree with her. You gotta stop focusing on what your partner does in a sense. In many cases, you actually have to focus on how much your partner does do or the attempt to do. If you continue to look at your partner as though they're not doing this, they're not doing that, resentment, comparison, everything will come into the picture. But if you start to look at your partner as more so everything they are doing, instead of counting what they're not doing, start to pay attention to everything that they are doing. And all of a sudden, you start to gain an appreciation. Whether you want to believe in the world or you want to believe in the Bible, whatever you want to believe in, truth be told, everything that goes in your life, you have to look at it as appreciation. So if your partner hypothetically isn't taking out the trash, think, what else does my partner do? If my partner isn't speaking to me a certain way or whatnot, what else does my partner do? And then move forward with things that you actually want them to do with appreciation. rather than going into it where you're going into it with resentment or thinking you're not putting enough effort or you're not showing me enough love. All those things that always play a role in relationships, but in actuality, all you have to do is pay attention to what your partner is doing or attempting to do at least. Because truth be told, no matter what, everybody in your entire life is going to let you down. Many people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Especially when you get married, you have to realize that your partner at some point in time is going to let you down. But then, in a sense, this is why love, marriage is supposed to take over to where you realize, okay, but I'm deciding to do life with this partner. So even though they let me down, I look at the good qualities that they always have. If you do always focus on the good qualities that your partner have, you'll realize that a lot of things can go fly out the wind. So fly with the wind in a sense. Let's keep going.
They change when they feel like it. And when you pressure another person to change or to grow in the ways that you are, your pressure doesn't create change, it creates resistance to change. As you grow, if your partner isn't, there will come a time where you're not going to question your commitment, you're going to question your compatibility. And you're going to start to ask yourself, can I be in a relationship with someone who is exactly as they are and not willing to lean into life and grow?
I agree with her. You will start to see more so and start questioning your compatibility. But the many things that you have to look at is it's not about your growth and them being left behind. It's about you doing what you're supposed to do and then continuing to help your partner see it more so where we have to move together. Now, some people may think, okay, I can move forward and my partner can stay back. But the problem with that is what marriage nowadays in this modern day is. It's selfish. It's selfish to always think I gotta move forward and leave my partner behind. If you chose to say I do, then you do. You're together. There's no separation anymore. But for some reason nowadays, people are always thinking that if I outgrow my partner, I can leave, or I outgrow my partner doesn't understand. But in actuality, you have to look at your partner as a partner. So they may fall sometimes, but you need to more so show them to get up. And if you feel too weary to continue to help them up, then that says a lot about how you feel about marriage, because it's not a partnership. It seemed like it was only meant for you to gain from.
I once heard...
But in actuality, it's never that. You may see a couple and think they never argue. You just aren't in the background hearing the noise. You're not there. Including, people think, okay, if I outgrow this person, it's time for divorce. If this person isn't following along, it's time for me to leave them. But where does it say that? Most people stood at the altar saying for better or for worse, but the problem is they don't know what the worst was. Worse could be as easy as the person cheating, infidelity. Worse can be the person having substance abuse problems. Worse can be the person getting sick. Regardless of it, you said for better or for worse. That's the biggest thing. We say these words when we get married, but for some reason, as soon as the problem comes, we're like, I'm out. But in actuality, you're supposed to stick it in. Most older people that actually last the test of time through marriage are those individuals that realize, yeah, we went through stuff, but we weren't going to give each other up. The thing about happiness in itself, please realize, especially if you're married, happiness isn't guaranteed. Joy is. You'll find moments of joy, but sometimes happiness is nowhere to be found. You just have to stick it through. If you can find moments of joy, usually that helps you continue to push through. That's what marriage is. That's life. You push through marriage because it's for better or for worse. The worst thing you can do is make happiness your idol, thinking, let me chase happiness and give up everything else. Let me chase happiness and give up my kids. Let me chase happiness and give up my husband. Let me chase happiness and give up my spouse. Then when you get out there, happiness is nowhere to be found. I speak to a lot of clients that chose happiness and later on found out and realized happiness was an illusion. While their marriage was solidified, was there, it was actually something they can lean on. While happiness is something that's fleeting. You're chasing a shadow. But hey, nice to talk to you all. Feel free to like, subscribe.